because I have like such a good connection to Singapore right now, which I haven't really had in years. And
oh my.
Hopefully they get to play good connection there where it's very even and stable for both of them throughout. Either way though, this player has performed very well no matter what server he's forced to play on in the past. In the top right, representing Alpha X as their latest pickup, and India, it's Demi.
And at the bottom left, representing Mind Freak, even got that Mind Freak blue on. He is this region's #1 Terran, Seither.
Is that risky?
Yes, it is risky. I was going to say they're sharing. They're sharing some. They're sharing a gaff, a jape pig. They're having a little bit of a guffaw at each other. Good times. But yes, so we do have the player cams coming in. See, this beard is getting luscious and full. He was a boy when I last saw him, and now he's become a man. Excellent.
Yeah.
Time
The literal
changes.
reincarnation of Tom Green, but yeah.
I forgot that guy existed. I'm gonna be real with you. Now that you've mentioned
I don't know why
I'm
it was
like, yes.
just the
I'm like,
lighting in
yes.
this shot. It just popped into my head. I'm like, huh.
Oh my god! And now I've got bummers on my lips. Now is the thing that's in my head. Oh, okay. Refocus, mate. Let's talk about the StarCraft game. We do have the SCV con across the map here for Seither, and that is the are you going pool or hatch first SCV, which every Terran should do in this matchup. If you don't do it, please start doing it.
Yeah, there's some really interesting things that come out when the Terran starts to skip that and cut those corners. But for now, it is just going to be very typical for both players. Demi not mining gas crazy fast, but just kind of transferring his workers down one by one. Reaper is on its way across the map. Oxide, of course, a map where we have seen a lot of those 8 racks pushes in the past, where it's just a stream, a full-on parade. SCV actually blocking the base. Wow, see, they're going a little old school with that, but the drone's simply going to rotate, I believe, over to the other third. Oh, don't go home. Go to the base.
Yeah, this is going to really delay the third of Demi here. He was all set up for that 2 and a bit minute third base. But looking more like a 2:45 base now at the moment with the Reaper delaying the SCV blocking. It seemed like Demi is maybe a little bit, really stubborn here. Kind of wants that for a third. Doesn't want the top spawn, the 12 o'clock.
Got to start his third queen in his next. Yeah, he does get his next overload in his third queen. So it's kind of fine in that as long as you spend your money. I feel like as long as you get it down by 310, it's totally fine. But so for now, see this being really annoying, and it might be a comfort thing where Demi much prefers the other third base. Oh, I was saying 310. Dude,
really,
he's not getting
really
this down
good.
till 330. This is going to be the latest third of all time. You're absolutely right.
And it's a dead drone as well. Oh man, this is actually, it's just one drone kill, but when you factor in the fact that this is early game, this is the first Reaper. This Reaper's already done a little bit of damage as well, and it survived. And the third for the Terran is going to be done earlier than the third for the Zerg. And Demilove have every intention of playing a macro game here. So
yeah. This is a disaster. This is honestly, against these 3 command center builds, you could have the most normal, smooth opening of all time. It's still going to be really hard against a guy of Seither's caliber to play it through from there. He's just going to have Marines across the map with STEM, with Medevacs, earlier than you would like. He's got the fast second barracks. And this is the 3cc into 211. It's a powerful build order. Demi's had a rough start. He's going to really have to show some very high pedigree of ZVT macro play if he comes back and kind of contests the mid game on even footing. Yep. All right. Well, it seems like we may have just a bit of trouble hearing you in the call right now, Maynard. I can still hear you loud and clear, but we'll just see if that can get reconnected. Hopefully it'll come back in a moment. And we do have a second factory and an armory on the way. So Seither here, looks like he wants to play mega macro play. Going straight up to, of course, The Armory Widowmine drops. I think he's going to do lots of Widowmine drops and take a quick 4th base behind it. Now, this does delay his bio production, so he won't have that much bio coming through.
True enough. And I believe that I am back. So I'm just making sure. The power of the internet, guys. Vehicle of esports, etc. We do have that drop. Like you said, not a full load of 16 Marines, but 14 Marines still ain't bad. Still a pretty good fighting force, especially when it's in the hands of a monster like Seither.
And it doesn't come that much later than the 2-base 2-on-1, except you've got a landed 3rd mining behind it. And that's what's always so scary about this build as a Zerg, is you don't want to take too much damage. Lots of things on the other side of the map. Only a few things underneath here, and oh, Demi actually backs away. That was kind of funny. They both went, oh, not sure I can take this fight.
Run by here from the Lings. There are some Hellbats chilling in the mineral line, though, just baiting those Lings to come in and attack those SCVs, or that 4th or 5th, depending on how you would look at it, because Demi is double expanding here. That's a kill. Ooh. Nice pick off there from Seither. Uh-oh, Widowmine.
Oh, Widowmine friendly fire.
Man. I was going to say, it's not really doing him too many favors there.
The Widowmine is an indiscriminate lawmaker, but it does put down a bit of justice on the Zerglings as well. And unfortunately, Demi actually blocks his base with a creep tumor there. So if he tries to take that later, that may delay it. He's going to have to deal with that. 60 drones versus 51 SCVs. He has slowed down the economy of Seither a little bit, but Seither now starting to catch up on the upgrades, adding his extra barracks. He's got that very quick drilling claws on the way. Seither just needs to get a move on actually sending those Widowmine drops out, because getting those going soon is really what just disrupts the Zerg and keeps them on the back foot. Yeah,
and Demi is trying to get ahead here, dropping that infestation pit, looking to head towards Hive, playing without tier 2 units here. No Spire, no Hydroden, nothing like that. So it is that melee unit until tier 3, where you get the bigger melee unit, but still pretty much just melee units.
Oh, Medevac's just going to pick on up and get out of dodge. And actually, that creep tumor wasn't blocking the base. It was off by 1 hex. So Demi, perfectly placed, well calculated. And he's got that Hive now on the way. Starts his +2 melee immediately. Does need to make sure he doesn't forget about the carapace. That is the more important of the 2 upgrades. And instantly gets it as soon as he gets the cash. Very nice macro here from Demi. He's going toe-to-toe with Seither. His creep is getting out there a little bit more, but those Widowmine drops at the beginning, and this is very difficult to deal with as a Zerg.
Yeah, and that Widowmine is going to get a few more drones here. The medevac ain't done. That one at the 3rd base does drop. 2 more Widowmines in the natural. Demi's not pulling drones. He's just taking big hits here. Oh, man, 19 drones. Ouch.
He just built a big round of Zerglings with all of his lava. So he's building 12 back, but he needs to build like 30 back right now, and got to be really good at dealing with the follow-up waves. Oh, look at this budget run by comes in. Oh, it's going to get a lot.
Oh, damn, SCVs. They're all stacking up ready for Demi Love there. I love that you called it a budget run by.
So cheap. Looking for that bargain, man. Just only 3 Banelings? Zerg don't care about that. Not at all.
He's like, I just lost 19 drones. I can only invest 3 Banelings. God, I hope it does so much damage. And to be fair, it really did. Like 8 SCVs, a couple mules, I think, went down as well. So good damage from that run by. Just that 75 gas. Not too bad.
Yeah, it could have definitely been a lot worse. Now, Seither, of course, is playing a mega macro style. When his 2-2 finishes, that's the point where he's going to be at like 180, 190 supply and really wants to get things going. Or in the meantime, he just wants to slow Demi down and say, keep you busy, keep your economy low, keep you redroning. If I can do that well enough, then I am going to hit you with maxed out 2-2, bio, mine, maybe even some Thors. And it's meant to hit before there's ultras on the field. So notice right now, Demi is building 19 workers, right? He's trying to recover his economy. He's trying to get the ultra cavern. Adrenal glands is on the way. Demi's in an okay spot. But there is this thing where if Seither can find that narrow window to attack just right, it's so damn dangerous.
And these Widowmines just continue cutting the lunch of the Zerg here. 7 drones going down. And Demi manages to keep the drone count quite high and quite healthy. But this is, this is damage that he had to undo. He had to spend money and lava on these drones when he would much rather be, close to maxed out, if not maxed out right now, amassing a bank and working on his tier 3. Doesn't want to have to worry about redroning.
Really keeps him busy. Ultra Cavern is done, though. 3-3 is on the way. If he can get Chitinous Plating going, I do think Demi's economy is really just amazingly kept up underneath it all. 87 workers. His creep spread is still not bad. He's re-spreading it very well. Seither is going towards Ghost, though. So I think at the very least, even if Seither doesn't find this 2-2 kill timing, He's going to secure the late game, and he's going to say, hey, you got to play late game against me, which he's obviously very good at. Is Demi going to be as confident in that stage of the game? I am not quite sure.
I think that Demi's got a army supply problem right now. He is dropping his Spire. He's obviously got the Ultra Den down and Chitinous on the way, but the Ultras aren't here. And it looks like he's about to throw a bunch of units on onto this planetary, which he may get. But can he handle a counterattack, though? I question.
Yeah. I think you're looking into the future there, and you're seeing the truth, Maynard. That is definitely, I mean, that's a nice snipe economy for economy. Give me 5 minutes and I'm going to be way ahead of you, See. That does see the give him that 5 minutes, though, you know. Right now, it's like, hey, I'm mining 5 bases. You're only on 3. I think it's good to keep the Terran down in the dumps a little bit and keep the trading going, because late game is very scary on this map. This is a map where Terran doesn't really have any urgency, because normally Zerg is less efficient, but they can take more of the map faster and defend it. On this map, there's just no map to take. You get 6 bases and that's it. You run out after 6 bases. There is nothing else. The Terran can total up, play the slowest game of all time, and eventually just beat you with efficiency. So as the Zerg, there is an onus on you to have some momentum. Despite that, though, Seither will still be pushing. Double drop in the right. Big biomine push on the left side. Can Demi split his army accordingly? He's going to go for a giant Ling run by right now.
Yeah, pretty big Ling run by. Widowmine's going to soften up a few of them on the front line there, but a lot of them are still going to get through. Reinforcements from Seither will have to do the job. Top left getting attacked while that battery is also getting dropped the low ground here. Reinforcements from Seither actually look very Marauder heavy, so those Lings should be able to cut through there.
Oh, the way he picked up on the high ground, definitely forcing Demi to take a while. Top left base goes down for Demi, but not many drones falling just yet. That being said, there's still a giant army up there and a 30 army supply advantage. Lings are ravaging that third base now, as well as still on top of the rally in the natural. See, that's starting to take a fair bit of damage on that side of the map as the SCVs all falling on that third base. Adrenal Zerglings, and he's rallying past the Lings. A huge mistake. Finally, he micros it, does Seither, and he cleans that up, but not before his third base has been cleared of workers.
Yeah, Seither taking a massive blow to his economy there, so the run by a Demi definitely worked out for him, but I'm still wondering if Demi can hold on. He's still quite a bit of supply down. He's trying to get more and more Ultras out, staying deep on creep here, forcing the Terran to come into his parlor of despair, where all the creepers, all the Ultras, and the Speedbanes are. Seither's being pretty patient. He's actually pulling back off creep, happy to take those 2 hatcheries down, which, keep in mind, he did kill 2 hatcheries there. That was a big pick off to the economy of Demi as well, who's on 4 mining bases at the moment.
Yeah, Demi's retaking a base to the right, but he needs those other 2 hatcheries back up and mining this whole time. As I said, it's normally a race against time, but in this case, it's just him trying to survive. So not only is the late game scary, the right now is incredibly scary. Queen's coming forward. They are going to be able to drop transfuses on those Ultras. The Bio pulling on back. Widowmine's getting a few big hits, but he does clear up some of the Terran army. Oh, this is still very close. If those Ultras can find the connections, if the Banelings can get the wraparound or anything like that. Seither's army is very fragile, but he's keeping it very safe.
I haven't seen the ghosts here from Seither. He's actually going into Liberators now. I did see the ghost earlier, I thought. But Viper's on the way here for Demi, remaking Queens as well, realizing the creep spread's taking a huge knock, sending a big Ling run by across the map as well. Looks like he's going to try and hit the natural of Seither again. I mean, last time this worked really well. Oh my god!
Ooh.
Never mind.
Yeah, that's crazy damage. Those Widowmines are really paying off. They're giving him warning of it coming in each time as well, Maynard. And now the wall-off has still not been rebuilt. Seither's still, of course, struggling a little bit. This is the upgrade advantage is now closed, though. Seither's caught up on upgrades. How weird is that? The 3-3 finishing for Demi so fast, but he just wasn't really able to do anything with those upgrade advantages. And I look at this game now and I go, I'm not sure if we need Broodlords or something, but Infestors and Broodlords are the only real 2 potentially hyper-efficient Zerg units that are there. So I feel like the longer this goes, he needs to do them. But he can't afford them. He's just got to try and hang on. He needs more Ultras, Lings, Banes. As the Liberators come in, this bio spread continues. Very difficult situation.
Parasite Bomb's going to come in and does kill a couple of medevacs, which is something. But the ground army's still so powerful, and Demi's starting to feel a little antsy here. It doesn't seem like he knows exactly what he wants to do with this army or what he can do with this army. Just trying to get as close to maxed out as he can, and the Terran has been maxed for a minute here. Oh, picks up an Ultra on the north side there, also baiting 2 of them out from safety.
Yeah, this is really nice control. He's just picking at him. He's saying, look, the longer I control this space, the more of your units I'll pick off. You have to do something about this. Another Ultralist goes down. Corrupted Steel with the Liberators coming out. The Widowmine spread is good. The bio is there. More and more Liberators coming on in. Demi, his back is up against a wall right now. And Seither just keeping the pressure up, piling it on, putting more and more weight on Demi. Demi at some point needs to flank, he needs to backstab, he needs to surround. He's got to do something. He's going to try and make a greatest fire here. Trying to pepper him with the parasitic bombs. I mean, he's killing a lot of the medevacs, which is something. But I think overall in the units lost tab, it's going to be way better for Seither.
I think so, and he also has the bank going for him as well. You know, Demi doesn't really have that scary late game Zerg bank. Top left has never been retaken. Seither hasn't let him get to that part of the map. He's cut it off from the Zerg infrastructure. A big run by from Demi, which means a lot of army supply is not here on the front lines fighting anymore. Seither forcing up a lift, but I don't think he minds because his army could potentially just win the game right here.
Yeah, I mean, I like that Demi's looking for other ways around this. I just don't think this is necessarily a winnable situation unless he gets the sickest fight. If he gets a really good flank on this, I think he needs like a giant surround from 2 or 3 sides. That I don't think fighting this one directionally is going to work.
Yeah, we got the Marines and Marauders just running into the natural and picking off drones here and there. Not too many drones, but what Seither really wants is just the army of the Zerg to run into his sieged up meat grinder of Widow Mines, Liberators, and split up Bio units.
Oh,
Broods are on the way.
Fighting his time. Yep, those Brood Lords will be able to break him out of here. So Demi playing the ultra patient game. He's trying to take the bottom right as well. He has damaged Seither's economy. So, I mean, I admire the patience from Demi. Like, this is one of those things. I would have just pulled the trigger, thrown my army in, lost it terribly, and lost the game by now. But Demi knows that's a lose. Whereas if he can use these Brood Lords well, there is still a chance for victory. So he's just working the odds and just trying to bait out a slow, calm chance here at victory. Let's see what he can do. Does need an Overseer out here. Those Widow Mines are going to cause him problems.
Yeah, Widow Mines are getting some... Oh, actually getting some Widow Mines connections on the Terran units there. The Liberators get picked off by the Corruptors, and the patience of Demilove has bought him more time in this game. In fact, the supply is getting quite close here. So, I mean, the power of the Broodlord is that it did get rid of that siege location. It pushed Seither off his front lawn, but it's such a slow unit that Seither does have time to get those Thors and Vikings up.
Oh, man, these Widow Mines are just being brutal this game. Maynard, there's Zerglings and Banelings were running over them. Widow Mines with Drilling Claws burrows so fast, and I feel like Demi is kind of grabbing his army and saying, let's go, let's fight, let's go all in. I think he might need to play it slow. Let's see, the Banelings are going to find good connections here. That's a lot of bio, though.
It is a lot of bio. A lot of it's dead bio right now. And in come the Broods. They're showing up for Demi.
Whoa.
Oh, Demi found the fight. What a comeback from Demilove. That was amazing.
Poggers, Maynard?
Poggers, for sure.
That was Poggers from Demi.
Yeah.
Dude, that was crazy. You can even see he was doing these ones. He was like, whoa. I was not meant to win that game.
I don't think Seither, Demi, you, or myself thought that Demi was going to win that game. I mean, obviously, it ain't over till the hefty lady sings, but that is an absolutely amazing comeback there. The Broodlords, the patience from Demilove in the face of terror. I mean, you were saying most Zergs, including yourself, would have just gone for the big attack there and just gone, oh, well, I hope this works.
And thrown the army away, but no, patience. And dude, this is, I tell you, this style, by the way, this build that Seither's doing is the most annoying build to take. It's just like 2 barracks, micros the drops around, B's annoying, then bam, Widow Mine drop, Widow Mine drop, Widow Mine drop, Widow Mine drop, after that, Widow Mine drop, then another Widow Mine drop, then another Widow Mine drop. I was like, it's so hard to deal with. And you might look at this and be like, wow, how is he losing so many drones? Oh my god. I've seen Hero Marine do that build to Raynor and kill like 143 workers in the first 12 minutes of the game. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. It is insane because there is just so much going on at that stage of the game, and the double drop of Marines is still active, constantly distracting, and the Widow Mines keep coming in at the same time as each other. So it's so hard to deal with. But dude, you said it's not over until the hefty lady sings. Well, it's not over until the thick Broodlord flings, I think is the new saying, because those Broodlords carried him back into that game, broke all the Widow Mines, which was his problem the whole time, forced the unsiege, those Vipers, peppering the medevacs the whole time. That did stack up. That was a really incredible comeback from Demi.
Yeah, it was just it's the mark of a great player when they can make the correct decision in the face of adversity. You know, you're under pressure from an incredibly good Terran, and you're like, what do I have to do here? And you have to make the decision within milliseconds. And Demi did all the right things in a row there, which got him the win and the comeback in the end. We're going to take a short break, and I can't wait to get back into Game 2, which will be there after the break. And we'll see you then. Take it easy. G'day, StarCraft fans. Welcome back. Pretty amazing game one there between Seither and Demi with an incredible comeback from the Zerg. Really well played from both players, honestly. It's just the better player won in the end, or rather the decision-making ended up favoring one over the other in the end there, so really well done by him. Can Seither fight back and tie it up? I think that's almost certainly the case. But will he, though? Pig, your thoughts?
I think this is going to be a banger. You come back like that, it's a big confidence booster. It's so annoying when you lose that many drones to Widowmine drops, when that doesn't start out so well with your third hatch getting blocked. But to win like that was very good for Demi. At the same time, I think Seither a little annoyed that his army got caught out there. Maybe we're not expecting Demi to get across the map so quickly, thinking he could take out that bottom right base and then get out of there. But he kind of found himself cornered, right? Without the proper setup. A lot of his Widow mines weren't burrowed. They were kind of burrowing mid-fight, which meant the Ling Bane was actually connecting with big clumps of bio. What do we often see against Broodlords? Terran splits up their army, starts counterattacking, you know, base trading and setting their army up really well on the defense. So I definitely think Seither is going to do everything he can to avoid a repeat of that scenario. His opponent, though, I think will definitely have a good chance of starting off better. Last game was rough for him in the early game. Down here representing Alpha X, it's Demi.
And in the top left here from Mind Freak, this is Seither.
Looked really good up until those final moments of that game, and maybe could have pushed in even a little bit harder, but I think normally the way he was doing it is pretty much perfect, just kind of chipping away at the ultras, setting up that perfect pre-spread, the liberators, the mines. His early game, everything was really good for him. And I wouldn't be surprised if Seither goes for the same sort of just quick triple command center, straight up into the second barracks building.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised at all. Seems like Seither's, as most Terrans, pretty inspired by a lot of the modern Korean builds at the moment, with the occasional BC opener. But, you know, there's 3CC 211s, the NNTVP going for the 3CC builds with 3 racks behind it, stuff like that. It's the flavor of the month. Flavor of the last few months, maybe.
Well, a 4 Zergling opening coming out here of Demi off a spawning pool first. So that's a good way to keep the Reaper at home, but luckily for Seither, he's sending the SCV across, so he won't be surprised by it. He should see these Zerglings coming out, and he'll definitely see the hatchery being late. So he knows there's Zerglings on the map either way. And Demi is going to go for the kill on that SCV. Should probably split 2 of those Lings off, I would imagine, just to try to threaten that Reaper. But for now, hoping he can get the SCV before then.
Well, the Reaper, yeah, the Lings should be trying to zone for that Reaper just in case, but it seems like it's just chilling in the natural at the moment. It's either not going to send that across just yet. Marine to 4 reactor. It's about as safe and normal as it can be here for the Terran.
Yeah, just adding the bunker just as a little bit of extra safety there. He's like, oh, where are those Zerglings? Now, funnily enough, Demi just went home with his Zerglings. He expected him to be so safe that he's just sent the Lings home, and he wants to deny the follow-up scouting. So this is a really cute play from Demi. He's, of course, just droning, injecting. Doesn't have a very quick gas or Ling speed. Is playing really well so far. That Reaper, of course, coming over here saying, I need to check there's no roaches behind this, because he did not get that scout. So that's why he added the bunker, because he knew 1 Marine on its own. Leaving that there is obviously really dangerous. There could be 6 Lings out on the map. There could even be 8 if Demi went really crazy. And definitely could be an issue. But here we go. Demi, once again, takes the third a little late. But in this build order, this is actually just totally normal, because he's gone the pool first. The early Zerglings, he is saturating his first 2 mineral lines really quickly with those early injects.
Yeah, most certainly. I think this is already just a bit more of a nicer early game for Demi. I mean, you know, actually, as far as early games go, it doesn't get much worse for the Zerg than game 1. So it's nice for him to get that third down, albeit a little bit late. It's not like it's at 3:30 like it was in game 1, where that Reaper really messed with him and also got a drone kill as well, just put salt in the wounds. This game, you know, not really a whole lot to write home about. Both players so far is getting away with their plan.
Demi did get to poke in a slow Overlord. 0 commitment. The Marine not up there because it's in the bunker. And he sees the starport, goes out, comes back in, confirms the starport swap. So this tells him it's not third command center. Tells him he'll need spores, probably about 430, 440, something like that if he wants to protect from a Banshee. But he's also going to sacrifice through and just double check that it's battle cruiser. Is there any armory around, that sort of thing? So I think Demi here, great information, very good start for him. can start droning towards that third base. The Marine should be able to damage that Overlord, but if it goes straight to the back corner, it will survive. Oh no, second Marine joins.
Seither just pulled a Maynard pig. The block on 46, a hefty one, delaying that Banshee by quite a bit. Actually, a Raven, so he's going to cancel the cloak, I guess.
Yeah. Not sure if reactive because he got supply blocked. Might be. But does decide to go for that Raven instead. And Raven is really useful for clearing creep, not having to use those scans. It's almost like a very kind of low momentum, slow efficiency thing, right? The longer you keep it alive. But it's such a slow burn, whereas often you're focusing your resources on slowing the Zerg down. So even though the Raven can create massive efficiency if it survives long enough in a game, the reason it doesn't happen a lot is because, well, in that time, it's like, hey, I spot creep tumors, and, you know, the Zerg's like, cool, what else do you do? And it's like, not much else. I guess I can drop an auto turret, but it doesn't do much against the Zerg early on. So the Zerg tends to get more creep spread, more economy of their own. So even though it gives you efficiency in its own direct engagements, you all give up the ability to have a Liberator getting in there and killing a bunch of drones. A Banshee picking those drones off nice and early. So this is not free for Seither.
Certainly not. Spire going down for Demi. Not a surprise to see that in this series. The Hellions and Reapers take a little bit of shooting there from those Queens, getting zoned back off the edge of that creep. The power of the Raven, obviously, can join up with the Hellions, and then you can get rid of some creep without scanning, but can also be utilized for some harassment there, dropping those auto turrets, trying to get some drone kills. Going to get two. Oh, just the one.
It's a nice quick Spire there for Demi. He's going to have Mutas out at a good moment in this game and play that trademark style that he loves so much. None of that fast ultra stuff, not here on Lightshade. And this is a wider map, lots more movement, less choke points and so on, so more chances for run-bys, counterattacks, backstabs, and all that sort of business. It, of course, does delay the Evo Chambers a long time, though, for Demi. But look at that, already getting a few hits on the Raven. You can see he prioritizes focusing that. He knows that Raven's such a juicy target to take down.
Yeah, it's a huge focus fire there for Demi if you could get it, for sure. Going to be going to Mutalisk here shortly. He's been banking up that gas. Going to get a nice big flock of Mutas when that Spire is done. And then go on from there. Demi really comfortable, and this is just exactly where he loves to be in ZVT, and that is Ling Bane Muta. Last game, just playing basically a straight Ling Bane into Ultras, and then going eventually into Spire and Viper and that sort of thing. See, there's Armory on the way, timed out well with the 1-1, and a little bit of a drop coming across. See, they're trying to get onto the Zerg side of the map for some damage, since that Raven harassment hasn't really done a whole lot.
Only 4 Banelings here, so keep an eye out. That's not a big contingent of Banelings. They've got Baneling speed, though. But if Seither can focus them down, then it might be a little bit of trouble. But a bunch of Queens as well. Muta's already on the way. Evo Chamber's only now starting. So Demi is already down 2 full upgrades, but he has got quick Bane speed for control. His Mutas are coming out. He wants to shut this down right away. This Muta's going to fly across the map, but I think he showed them there. Or maybe not. Maybe he didn't notice it because Seither's still not building turrets and still boosting units across the map. This is really dangerous for Seither right now.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And this is, you know, a staple of Seither's play is also to have the Armory exposed like this as sort of a Sim City against Ling run buys, but that does not stop the Mutalisks, obviously. 2 Marines able to shoot the Mutas back. I'm not sure.
A little bit cautious from Demi, isn't it? Yeah, definitely. I think he's macroing so hard behind this, and he may have spotted out this drop on the bottom. He's being very careful with it. But, I mean, he finds a very undefended Seither, and this time you can see a bit more decisive from Demi. Gets a few Marines. Turrets are now on the way. This is still a very good start for Demi, catching Seither unprepared. But he needs more than that. Seither continuing to push despite the fact that Demi's harassing him. Very confident in the face of the adversity that those Mutas bring to his mineral lines. Uh-oh, he needs to make a lot more Banelings than that, Demi. Demi needs to focus on full Ling Bane now. He's got to be real patient.
He was out of gas there for a second. He couldn't quite afford them. And Seither's actually target firing this paltry force of Banelings because it's just one at a time. Easy target fire there for Seither. And there's still a Widowmine ready to fire as well on the north side. It's that small cluster of Lings.
Oh, he's so many Mutas. 7 Mutas just hatched, though. So he's up to about 14, 15 Mutas now. So, I mean, this is Demi. He's so light on Banelings and gas because he's making a ton of Mutas. He's got +1 for them already as well. But it is a double upgrade advantage on the ground. So this is all about Mutas and Banelings. It's not about the Zerglings. They just don't do that much here. Oh, he's clicking on that health, the dropship that's full. Can't quite seal the deal. Seither gets out of there. Demi's got a backstab. I don't think he can let himself trade front on like this unless he crushes one of these next fights. So it's a dangerous thing because Mutas and Banelings are kind of super cost inefficient unless they really crush an engagement. you need to really make sure you don't end up on the receiving end of a parade push. If you do end up in that scenario, the Terran's going to wear you down. So I like Demi's movement. Looks like those mutas want to backstab the top side of the map as Seither moves out to take a 4.
Yeah, I mean, the run buys were so effective for Demi in game 1. This game, he's just trying to harass with the Mutalisks. They kind of could support the meta against the Medivacs here as the Widowmines start to burrow for Seither. Widowmines dragged into the bio, actually killing quite a few Terran units, but Zerg units not looking too great either. Oh man, that Mutalisk harassment really paying dividends for Demilove. 9 SCVs killed. Oh, but Seither picks off the 6 o'clock hatchery. Can he keep the third alive?
Oh, a lot of the bio does go down. I'd like to see Demi just retake that respread creep. Mutas here have done a lot of damage. I think... Oh, wow. That is actually insane. Killing the base 10 SCVs as well. Of course, Seither does have another command center up, though. So it's not the end of the world for him. It is still a bunch of damage. 2-2 not being started up just yet. And, yeah, he's building 5 more mutas. He's making +2 attack. Demi, you got to start that 2-2 or you're never going to catch up on it.
You're not wrong. There's a command center coming in from the main base here to retake that third so that Seither can still at least have 3 mineral lines mining. It's very similar for the Zerg, actually. The main starting to get mined out 6 o'clock, and also the 1 o'clock, I guess, 2 o'clock base is also being taken but not saturated just yet, so he's not really mining very efficiently at all, is Demi. Long distance mining down here to the south. So the economy's not safe for either player at the moment, and it's going to really be about upgrades, like you mentioned, and also the armies and how they're utilized. Mass repair on the turret, they keep it up. A Thor volley on the mutas as well. See, they're getting a little bit too close to the sun there, and also the mutas working on that medevac to make sure that this Thor does not get out of danger.
Goodbye, Thor. One of the most frustrating things for a Terran player is that. And the orbital, of course, has been lifted down here. More Thors popping out with that superior range. They are going to do pretty good, but a barracks going down, not a bad pick-off for Demi. Keep in mind that Demi's creep spread, it's respread a little but not that much. Watch out for that. Ooh, Widowmine on the bottom does split. Only loses 3 Banelings. Could have been a lot worse.
Certainly could. Widowmine's definitely a frustrating unit that keeps you on the edge of your seat as a Zerg player. Can make or break your game for sure. So he's been doing very good handling the minefields here of Seither. Seither's army continuing to grow. Both players approaching maxed out here. Demi hitting there a little bit earlier, but seems to be very committed onto tier 2, which is giving me some concern for Demilove. And the upgrades also giving me concern for Demilove as Seither starts to round in his army with a lot more beefier tier 3 units and upgrades.
Well, Carapace is now starting for those air units, but still no 2-2. Definitely feels like Demi's doing a lot of things right in this game, but that can be a killing blow. I'm going to tell you, once that +3 kicks in, damn, he's going to feel it. It's going to be any time a Zergling fights a Marine or 10 Zerglings fight a Marine, they're going to feel the pain of those Gauss rifles. And these mutas coming in. I mean, the thing is, they can, I think, still overwhelm there. The mutas do have great upgrades, but Demi, 76 drones, it's not a giant economy. He still is wanting to kind of drag Seither down into the mud with him because he doesn't have that 90 drone economy. This isn't the make 100 Baneling economy. Infestation Pit goes down, and every Zerg has played a game like this. If there's enough action going on and you're doing so many things right, and it's not until the end, after the game, the dust settles, you take a few breaths, and you look at the replay when you go, I do not have these upgrades. That Baneling run by did not find the mark. A big push coming through the middle, and once you're maxed with Biomine Thor, Zerg cannot take that front on with Lingbane. It is the most inefficient compositional matchup in the entire game. This is really bad for Zerg.
I think that Demi's got himself into a corner here. Yes, the Banelings are getting a lot of SCV damage, but on the front lines, this is so convincing from Seither as far as army's concerned. Yes, you know, the army supplies look close, but keep in mind that about 20-30 supply of it is in production. It's not here, and it's just Zerglings with 1-1 upgrades against 3-2 upgraded bio, with Marauders, with a split, with Widowmines, with a Thor, with medevac support. Demi is in so much trouble.
Oh, he's going to try and roll north through this army. Banelings doing what they can. But look at that spread. Even without the Widowmines, they were all actually kind of behind the army. Yeah. Now they come into play. But nonetheless, great micro there from Seither. 44 workers versus 74. That looks pretty good for Zerg. But it's the army supply. That's what matters. It is so well upgraded, and it is such a big army advantage. Still having all those bases mining for Seither. And now he, once again, is going to separate Demi from these bottom 2 bases.
The mutas come in for a magic box over the bio, hoping to pick off the Thor, hoping to pick off the Marines as well, but that's a last-ditch effort. It's going to be GG, and Seither going to tie it up 1 apiece. We've got ourselves a series pig. And I tell you what, these games have been sick.
Oh, yeah. That was an action-packed one. I think 2-2 would have made a world of difference there. That was very, very big there. But, you know, I also think maybe that first wave of mutas for Demi could have been a bit more decisive. Just get in there and do more and more and more. It felt like he was a little bit more focused on the next step than on really realizing, hey, wait a second, this is Seither, really just trying to play Terran perfect mechanical Terran, not scouting Terran, not reacting Terran. Really, it did feel like Seither was just like, I'm just going to do my thing. And we saw the Raven didn't really find big damage or anything like that. I mean, I think these trades, these defenses were pretty good for Demi. He used his tech very well. You're always going to be behind on upgrades in this, but just not finding that many actual SCV kills up here.
Yeah, it was actually the big Lingbane run by towards the end of the game that did the real convincing damage. There was actually a really inefficient Baneling run by for Demi up to the north side before Seither finished +3 attack. Those were some nice connections from Demi, though, of course. And there's that SCV damage we saw on the backside there. And, these mutas finding damage later on, getting that barracks, certainly convincing. But at this point, we've got a 3-2 Terran. We've got that split. Yes, he's on creep with most of his force. It doesn't look like much, but then you look at the minimap, you see that trail of blue, and it's like, it's ants with armor and guns and shields and medevacs, and that's, the scariest ants that one could imagine. I'm not sure where I'm going with this, but the Terran army looks like ants in the minimap is what I'm trying to say. There's that big rally of bio push with the mines, with the Thors as well. And just having that tier 3 muscle in his army, which is something that the Zerg didn't have the luxury of saying they had. It was all tier 2 all the way, and not even fully tier 2. It was tier 2 with level 1 upgrades.
That's exactly it. I mean, if you have equal upgrades, you hate that scenario as a Zerg. If you're down in upgrades, you just go, ugh, I'm done. Because as the Marauders come into tank, suddenly Lingbane Muta, what kills Marauders? Nothing kills them very fast. I mean, they don't do a lot of damage, but your units clump up around them. The Widowmine count, once there's 3 or 4, you can kind of separate them off. They're not always going to do big hits. When there's 8 Widowmines spread through an army, Marauders with concussive, slowing down the advance, you got Thors that are going to punish the Mutas. If they ever clump up, they're taking a massive Thor splash, massive Widowmine splash, and the Marines can just kind of get control click by Seither and just stim backwards and stutter step, and they're the only things that he really needs to worry about keeping alive. Everything else can tank a lot of damage. The Terran army suddenly has this great mix of splash and beefiness in that later stage, and by that point, the Lingbane player wants to have a much better situation for themselves. He's going to look for it in this game. Game number 3 of the series. They decided to see who goes out in this group. Representing Alpha Rex, this is Demi.
And in the top left here, representing Mind Freak in the blue, the greatest Terran from Down Under, he is Seither. This map is so important here. It really is just one map here on Romanticide to decide whether or not Demi makes history. If he can break that huge event streak where he just doesn't seem to... he literally has not beaten Seither at these big WCSs, at the Dreamhack Master events, the big events with the big money. The weeklies, sure, back and forth with Seither having the lion's share of those victories. But these events, it's all Seither. And if Demi can do another game 1, if he can show off that patience, that great decision-making, and just manage to keep that head about him and let his game plan come through, he will make history here. And then on the other side of the fence, Seither, all he needs to do, win this map to maintain status quo, to maintain his dominant record at these big events against Demilove.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's just, I think there is that onus on Demi here. Seither's kind of going, yeah, business as usual. That's how it should be. That's how the game should be. I feel much more confident with that sort of game style, and definitely on Romanticide, it's a big map. We've seen mutas do great on here with all the dead space. There's lots of angles to come in. It's also a map, because it's so hard to assault the other, that a lot of players, Terran players, that is, they'll do that same build he did from game 1, where, it's a quick 3 CDC, but it's also followed up by mass Widowmine drops.
And Demi's actually going for quite an early third here. So he's cut a couple corners to get it about 15 seconds earlier than, I guess, a quote-unquote normal build order there for the Zerg.
Yeah, gets the Overlord started even after the third hatch, so it is mega quick. His own Demi special opening, perhaps, there, as the Zerglings are going to defend. The SCV was blocking the third, but realizes, hey, he's not even trying for it. Does go home, and just losing one Zergling, no big deal there for Demi, who of course wants to push back that Reaper and spread a creep tumor.
Yep.
Zerglings there to help defend it, though.
Seither really wants that creep tumor, but Demi doing a great job zoning there. Enough hit points in the creep tumor for it to be safe. And yeah, I mean, he loses one Ling to the Reaper, but not the biggest of deals. As long as he's not getting his third blocked, as long as he's not losing any drones. And as we see Seither grabbing that third CC on 27. So he's going to delay that second refinery for quite a bit here, because all he wants is minerals. He wants that command center. He wants the Hellions coming out of that reacted factory, and worry about the gas and the tech a little bit later in favor of economy.
Well, it is going to be the starport coming up a little bit after that third command center. Overlord's seeing it, so Demi knows what he's up against. Definitely wants to hit the drones very hard. In this scenario, you know you're not getting hit by very quick, mass Hellions, right? The command center is an insane amount of minerals early on. There's not going to be a lot of Hellions and Banshees coming in at the fastest possible timings, but still many different ways that the Terran can play it. And Overlord does go down before Seither really commits. A few more Hellions queue up, a couple of SCVs as well. Liberator. So, most kind of, I think, flexible, standard follow-up here for Seither.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, stock standard seems to be his way to play, and honestly, it's done him well so many times. It feels like a plus EV play to just go standard as Seither, because his late game is just so strong.
Oh, yeah. Good way to do it. Liberator halfway done now. Third base doesn't have any workers on it just yet, but they are starting to pop on out. Good setup on the defense so far for Demi. Okay, nice quick lair for him as well. So he wants to get up into that tech. Wouldn't be surprised if he's playing Mutas again with such a fast lair.
Yeah, I think this is a fast fire as well. I'm with you on that one. Demi doesn't seem to really like playing Roaches often. And I don't remember the last time he went Lurker for tier 2 in lieu of going for the Spire instead.
Orc Rulers are on the way. They're quite late, but I think that's well timed enough for this Liberator. So I would say quite late for a game where you lack information. In this scenario against this build order, perfectly timed. Hellions coming on the south, Liberator on the north. Queens are well positioned for the Hellions. They're not going to risk diving past there. As long as he notices this Liberator, which he does, he'll be good. Oh,
yeah,
that's a bad siege.
Yeah, I mean, he's in range of one mineral patch there, so he gets a drone, but the Spore moves in, and the Queen actually taking a few shots there. She was one shot from death.
Single Zergling run by. Wow, actually knocks a trip or two off the mule and almost gets an SCV. Well worth it for a little 25 mineral Zergling. Spire is now starting up here for Demi. Demi's already up on 66 workers, 5 minutes 40 in the game, and has not taken any real damage to this. Even if that Queen goes down, guess what? That Liberator is going to be paid for it. Gets a drone, gets a Queen, but that is totally fine for Demi. He's got the Spire on the way, Bane speed starting up. Okay, Demi's looking great right now. Spreading creep out front, fourth base going to go down. Ooh, this is a smooth opening for the Zerg.
Yeah, he went for a build order plan that completely worked out. The faster third base, the Spire play, which he's going for, of course. But defensively, his creep spread's still looking good. Yes, he's lost a couple tumors to the Hellions, but the Queen count, yes, he's lost one, but it's still looking healthy. Creep still spreading at the front, the fourth going down here for the Zerg. And, I mean, he's already at 70 drones. What more could you want?
The Mutas will be coming out at, I guess, about 7 minutes 30 is when they'll kind of be out on the map roaming. And that's earlier than any real pressure is going to come out for Seither. So Seither, at the very least, is going to be bottled up. And this is a little worrying for him because he relies on that ability to push into the Mutas to keep them contained and controlled, and still hasn't moved out with his drops. This is looking nice. The upgrade's going to start up for Demi in a moment.
Yeah, getting those upgrades up. Bailing speed nice and quick as well, so that when the buyer does eventually start pushing, he's going to have the tools he needs to fight back. A little bit of a poke with the links just to make sure that the third is up.
Okay, so going to split these drops up is Seither and just look for little pokes here and there to slow things down rather than one single directional push. Second factory is finishing up here for Seither as well, so we will be kind of adding into that the extra layer of drilling claws, doors, and the rest. Demi does take a while to build all of his mutas, but he does get eventually, I think it's about 8 mutas in total queued up for the first round, plus 1 attack and his 1/1 upgrades. Oh, that's a cute little Widow Mine, just looking to create distractions and disruptions all around. 8 Marines on the bottom side going to come in, and these Widow Mines going to begin being annoying.
Yeah, see they're starting to fight back here. There's the Widow Mine drops, and this time Demi respecting it a little bit more than game 1, pulling the drones immediately there. Good map awareness.
Mutas are going to definitely make it a bit easier to control this later on in the following steps, but for now, wants to go for broke. Seither is a greedy boy. As I said, he doesn't care what Demi's doing. He doesn't scout for it. And all those SCVs following each other in the main are actually the first targets of the Mutas. They're going to go in and get quite a few kills.
Now, 4 SCVs have gone down, but did that actually do Seither a favor? Because there was about 5 SCVs playing grab ass with one of the mineral line there, and now they're back to mining.
Yeah, that is that rare moment where it's like, oh, really? Seither's mistake actually kind of gets cancelled out there by the damage. It's crazy. A few drones go down, but that gets cleaned up. Demi's happy to trade a couple of drones here. He can easily replace, and look at how much faster the infestation bit is. So Demi doesn't want to get trapped maxed out without ultras up against a maxed out Terran, that is, and hopefully remembers his 2-2 to start up along with that hive. Widowmine drop going around the left side of the map. Still building a fair count of Mutalisks, but I'd like to see Demi actually set up for lots of backstabs. So I think when Seither pushes out, he's still going to have a big kind of maxed out timing pre-ultra. And it's really on Demi to just crash into the bases, the rally point, the reinforce. Really don't fight this front on. I think if you fight Seither front on, you're going to be doing him a favor.
Yeah, his army is built to fight this tier 2 army of Demi, and Seither knows all too well that the Lingbane Muta is the army that he's going to be dealing with. Demi has these Mutas and the Overseer here just so he can take down Widowmines if he must and crash through the defenses of the Terran. Natural looking, actually relatively well defended here from Seither though. Multiple turrets, Widowmines and Thors here as well. Yeah, has to get out of dodge there with those Mutas, find a different angle.
This one's going to start to heat up really fast soon, Maynard. This is going to get really action-packed because they're both maxed out, and someone's going to start making plays at the other.
Demi!
Oh, good reaction. Only loses one, gets the sensor tower, so it's okay. It was almost devastating. 11. Ooh, how many?
Okay, yep. Main base. The 2 Widowmines getting in there. 15 drones. I think the natural got hit as well as the 3rd. Oh my god.
Ooh,
Seither just suddenly... He's absolutely everywhere. Like, Insano is a really good observer, but Seither just suddenly everywhere, and not even the observer saw where those Widowmines and Medevacs ended up.
Yeah, no, not at all. 2-2 starts in line with 3-3 this time. Much better for Demi in that regard. And he's got a good worker count. His creep spread's okay, but this north side of the map looks kind of scary. And it's just, for me, the scary thing for Demi is that he's so pulled back by these Widowmine drops, he's not set up for that counterattack. Look at Seither's natural right now. He's doing a giant push here, but his natural is just undefended. Finally, Demi sending his run by across the map, but he wasn't prepared for this, and that's the problem. Actually, wow, Seither is expecting it. He's got a good army at the natural. He's expecting Demi to go around and crash in there. Wow, Seither very, very prepared. This is actually insane.
Yeah, Seither's learning during the series. He's starting to adjust, and he actually has a very good anti-tier 2 army. The Muta's over-committing over the Bio and the Thors there. And the Widowmine still remaining with their charge as well, just in case the Lings wanted to commit. Oh, man. I mean, this time Demi did remember 2-2, but the Terran is still up 2 upgrades. Seither has not missed a beat with his macro. He's maxed out, and he's on the front door.
Yeah, I think after that counterattack got defended, it feels really bad now for Demi because 2 of his bases are up here. If he loses control of this area, he loses control of so much of his economy. But he's going for round 2 of the counterattack, and Seither pulled that whole army across the map. He does not have much there this time around. He's got a lot of Lings and Mutas coming in behind that as well. Banelings find the mineral line. The Mutas and the Lings will go in. Oh no, goodbye 3-3. That's huge.
Yeah, getting rid of these upgrades is a massive blow there. Well done for Demilove. But Seither is knocking on that front door, and he's knocking in hard. This is looking extremely rough still for Demi, even with that massive damage. Oh no, he's own 2-2. Upgrades for upgrades here, getting exposed. No. Seither right in the choke point here, and all the rallies from the hatcheries getting minced by those Marines.
Oh, damn. Those Evo chambers going down. +2 melee gets denied. On the production is Demi, but where is the rest of his army? It just is popping out and dying is where it is. I think he might have some units on the top of the map that he forgot about. But, I mean, there's so much chaos. It's so hard to sync up any sort of engagement on this Terran push.
Ah, man. And also Seither just getting that engineering base in a different location here up by the planetary, his most heavily defended part of his infrastructure out there at the sort of exposed middle base. Seither is just taking hatchery after hatchery, drone after drone. This is so much damage here from the Terran. The tech exposed from the Zerg as well. As Demi's about to be down to 1 base at 1 o'clock here, and that is just not good here for Demi. He's got some ultras about to hatch, but it still feels like Seither has enough units to fight the ultras. It's the Thors, the Marauder count. They're actually quite good against these giant space-hugging cows.
Yeah, no, I mean, ultras are a great unit. they aren't a unit that instantly just counters the army the way sometimes like a pack of Broodlords can be, right? It's not that level of game changing, especially not, as you said, with those units out on the map. I think here we go. It's mostly Banelings though, and look at this spread from Seither. Says, I know you'll be making Banelings in there. Look at how inefficient they are.
That was a last-ditch effort there from Demi, I think. A valiant effort indeed, but Seither just too powerful in the end. 2 maps back-to-back, and the status quo has been maintained. Seither continues his dominant record against